Welcome back to the Hotel Orloff, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be looking at some war comic books today. And first of all, I just remembered I left something in the car. I went out to get something to make sure we had, because Thanksgiving is 2 days from, well, a day and a half away. And I got some stuff I need to bring in. So, just a moment. These objects that made in the USA, man. It's for cooking turkeys and ham, whatever. So I got these. Hopefully this will be adequate for our needs. So, what are you guys going to be doing for Thanksgiving? Watching football and eating turkey, right? I also had to buy a pumpkin pie because I bought one the other day for Thanksgiving, but I've eaten the entire thing, I've noticed. So I had to get another replacement one. Sorry, the dog almost chased the cat right in front of where I was walking. Okay, so every time I leave the house, I think I really would like to go through my DC war comics. Oh, my Marvel war comics too. And it's like, well, next time I do a show, let's look at war comics, man. So, let's do that. Let's plug you in so we don't lose power. Come on, get that in there. Okay. As you get older, you find your mind is increasingly consumed with memories. Hopefully good memories. But a lot of my memories seem to go back to San Antonio, Texas. And I hope I get to go back there and visit during this lifetime. It's where I was born. Lived there the first 5 years of my life. It's where my mother was from. And then we moved, in 1969 to Germany and then to Virginia. Then we moved back to San Antonio for third and fourth grade. 2 magical years. And then I've only been back to San Antonio a few times since then. But really, it's my hometown. I've lived up in North Texas much longer. But San Antonio, I always have a certain fondness for it. An immense fondness. Because it was there during third and fourth grade that I really got into not just monster comics, but superhero comics and a whole spectrum of things. So, my older brothers were 10, 12 years older than me, and they were collecting comics when I was born in 1965. They'd been accumulating comics since the 50s. They weren't really collectors, they were comic readers. And my dad had footlockers from the Army, wooden footlockers, like G.I. Joe, the figure had, footlockers. And that he didn't use anymore. So my older brothers kept the comic books in one footlocker, and the other footlocker, I believe, had Tonka trucks in it. None of the Tonka trucks were handed down to me. None of the comic books were handed down to me. I think they were probably gotten rid of when we were going across the ocean to Germany. Anyway, those comics that should be my birthright, my inheritance, I think a lot of them, they were mostly DC, and a lot of them would have been war comics. My brother Mike told me that he and my oldest brother Steve just didn't like the Marvel comics. And I imagine that's because, I don't know why that would be. I think some people find Jack Kirby's art to be jarring. You got to get used to it. I don't know. I never did, but that's my older brothers. So, but the DC comics were, of course, wonderful. I need my water. It's on the elevator. Let's go get the water. So, yes, indeed. So tomorrow begins Thanksgiving. The weekend of Thanksgiving is we're probably gonna get some snow Friday night or Saturday. I'll do a show and let you see that in case you've never seen snow before. People like Kevin. Well, Kevin, our friend of our show. I was just talking to Kevin Johnson, the owner and proprietor of Gotham City Comics, a few moments ago, and in Arizona, he's just planting his grass, and it's like he said, "Oh, well, we had some dew today," but yeah, he lives like on another planet there in Arizona where you don't really have winter. Oh, kitten, don't get on the elevator. Come on, get off. Come on, kitten. Come on, kitten. Little kitten's running around. We rescued her about, man, I have no idea. What would it be? 7 weeks ago. She's now weaned off the bottle as of a few days ago. So she's running around the house. She's explored pretty much every inch of it. She's never been in the garage, but neither of the other two kittens. We have 3 kittens. 2, they're running all around. Anyway, memories of San Antonio. And to a large degree, San Antonio is memories of these war comic books. And of course, my dad was off at training when I was born. My dad was in the Korean War, was drafted the day after he finished college into the Korean War, and then he was just in like junior high school, like 7th, 8th grade when World War II was going on. But if it had lasted a little longer, he would have been involved. And then he was in the Vietnam War, and so don't get my water, man. So yeah, I heard the stories that my mother was in labor. She had to drive herself to the hospital to have me because, and then she had to get my grandfather to watch my 2 older brothers. How dare you? Here's a song about Sergeant Rock. Stop! How dare you? You never heard the song before? That's because I created it a couple of days ago on Suno.com. Country western swing song about Sergeant Rock. Music from another dimension. Oh man, that kitten is going crazy. You gotta see this. Well, you can't see it. Yeah, that bottle I threw, he turned it into a hockey puck. He's chasing it all around the room. Okay. Total chaos, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, war. Talking about war. But I have memories of San Antonio, like Frontier Burger. Man, the best hamburger you'll ever have. It was at a place called Frontier Burger. It was a drive-in restaurant, looked like an old Western fort. Charbroiled. I think that closed, but it was owned by the Jim's Coffee Shop, which is still around San Antonio and Austin. They still serve the Jim's Burger, and now Frontier Burger's back in San Antonio as of a few years ago. I think she's hungry. So, anyway, Frontier Burger. So I want to go back and have a Frontier Burger and let my wife know what it was like. And memories of, I can't go back to Dick's Hobby Shop. That was a great store where my older brother went to get model trains, and they had monster model kits and everything. Great slot cars, everything great. It made being a kid great in the 1960s. Dick's Hobby Shop. That was a great place. I just have such great memories of San Antonio. Because this is when my family was together, and now, my family is pretty much gone. My brother Mike's the only one still around, and I haven't been in touch with him in years for whatever reason. So, yeah, maybe being into comic books is part of trying to. It's all a nostalgia thing. So whatever. So let's look at these. This is DC War Comics Box 1. Look at the sticker. I'm caucusing for President Trump. Okay. Okay, well, man, what are you guys doing? They knocked down my wife's, whatever that little thing is from He-Man. See, I was born 65, so He-Man was not my childhood. But my wife's 13 years younger than me, so He-Man and She-Ra and all that stuff, that was her time period. That was when I was in college. See this little bobblehead? Oh, his name is Orko. They knocked him down, man. This little kitten is, whoa. This is my wife, so I need to take it upstairs and put it with her stuff. Orko. Okay, I keep getting interrupted. We're 12 minutes in and you haven't seen a single comic book, and most people only watch for about 5 minutes. Oh, I noticed my statistics. I've got, it says 80% of my viewers are in the United States, 0.8% are in England, so that's probably like a guy with no head. And then 0.2%, something like that, are in the Philippines. And I don't know, it seems like that leaves almost 20% unaccounted for. I don't know where they are. This kitten's damaging. Okay, so, and I did have like 7% female viewership. That's gone down to 0 viewership. So women no longer watch this channel. So it's now just an all guy, and I no longer have anyone watching younger than age 55, and nobody watching over age 65. So it's everybody's right around kind of in my demographic. Male, old, fat, and living in the United States. Okay, so this is All American Men of War, number 97. Featuring Johnny Cloud, the Navajo Ace. Here's, what is she, was that 97? Here's 92, it's out of order. Can you imagine? No, I'm gonna fix that. All right. Well, that's the extent of my collection of All American Men of War. Now we're at All Out War. This is a book I bought in this condition a few years ago, and I haven't yet bagged it. Except I bought an All American Men of War the other day from Kevin of Gotham City. Here's the kitten that's doing all that off-screen damage and destruction. There she is, man. There she is, Miss America. Let's get that new issue of All American Men of War. I believe it was Captain Savage, Balloon Buster, something like that. Okay. Where was it? Here it is. I'm sorry. He wasn't a captain. He's a lieutenant. I think Captain Savage is over at Marvel, right? Lieutenant Savage is at DC. I wonder if they're cousins. This is Lieutenant Steve Savage, the balloon buster in All-American Men of War. This one's number 114. So I've got a lot of collecting to do to get all of these, and it'll never happen. I sure wish I could find a whole bunch of war comics from this time period for cheap. I don't know that the comics I love, well, collectors have started to discover some of them. The horror comics, the collectors are starting to discover, but they haven't started to discover the Bob Hope, Jerry Lewis stuff. They haven't discovered the Three Musketeers. They discovered all the House of Mystery stuff, so I'm screwed on that. But Sugar and Spike, I still need a lot more of that. What else is there that I need? War comics, I don't think they're getting into the romance comics, so. But war comics, I don't know. I think the average comic book collector is too much of a sissy to buy these books. 114. This is what real all-American boys were buying in the 60s. That's Superman. And the clued-in ones were getting the Marvels, But Marvel was not outselling DC in the 60s. That was an untruth that was was promulgated in the bullpen page, but they were doing well. Marvel, by all means, was doing well, but I don't think they were. I know they weren't outselling Archie. This is All Out War. This is in the dollar comic, which was about $79.80, wasn't it? Here's Army at War. 50 cents. Towards the 50-cent era is about, the comics were still good when they were 50 cents. This is Battle Classics, and this is going to be reprints. I know it's not bagged and boarded, but someday I'll get my rich and famous contract, and I'll bag and board all these little issues that I haven't had a chance to do. See, it's in terrible condition because it's not bagged and boarded. You can see that I've kept this book in horrible condition. It's all dog-eared, rusty staples. It's got see, look at all the dings, all the tears, all the spine ticks. Look at those spine ticks. It's really bad, man. Yeah, I bought this one off the newsstand. It's a newsstand copy, which means absolutely nothing. In 1978. 1978. Star Wars had been out for a year. It's that Jack Davis Wolfman Werewolf. Damn. Oh boy. This the best stuff in the world. But we gotta keep it a secret. We can't let people on the vermin on YouTube know about these books, so then we won't be able to get them. Oh, this was a book, Blitzkrieg. This is a mid-70s. Stripe going across the top indicates it's around the bicentennial time period. Blitzkrieg, searing battle sagas of World War II as seen through enemy eyes. Resistance is useless. If you do not come out, the others will be executed. So this is from the German perspective. Issue 2. It didn't last long. I wish I had more. I wish 2 bits will buy you nothing. Oh man, kitten. Issue 3. This is the price that they should be, $2.99. Apparently these went up. Someone was saying, I could have sworn it was Shannon on that Saturday morning show, Comic Book Memories, was saying these books were going up real high during the pandemic when people had nothing else to do with their pandemic checks. which hopefully we're going to be getting new checks. Looking forward to that. Think of how many Blitzkrieg comics you could get if President Trump sent you $2,000. Here's issue 4, which I got for $2.99. The camera is shaking because the kitten is grabbing the tripod, I'll have you know. Anything that goes wrong tonight, we'll blame it on this kitten. Charlotte, also known as Charlie, because we thought he was a boy at first. Why, it's another copy of the same issue that's not bagged and boarded, so we can look inside it. This one's in terrible condition. I was joking about the other one being in terrible condition. This one genuinely is. See? Damn. Just wonderful. I was speaking of Nephilim, I was listening to Gary Wayne. There's a guy you got to listen to on YouTube. His name is Gary, Gary, Wayne, Wayne, as in, like John Wayne. He's this Canadian guy. I know I make fun of Canadian people, but they're not all stupid morons. Just kidding. No, Gary Wayne is an interesting, what would you call him, a theologian? He calls himself a Christian contrarian. Basically, he goes out and he researches and finds out stuff for himself. And there's a passage in the Bible, Genesis 6, that makes a reference to basically, kitten, stop. There was a rebellion of angels, right? There was a class of angels called the Watchers. They were supposed to watch us, make sure everything's going okay on Earth. That was their job, to be watchers. I believe they were, I could be wrong. He's got a whole book out called the Genesis 6 Conspiracy or something like that. He's got 3 books. But he's on all these shows. If you look him up on YouTube. What was that noise? Was that outside? Anyway, in this part of Genesis, this class of angels, and of course Jack Kirby got the name the Watchers, or maybe Stan Lee came up with that, I don't know. From that, they're supposed to watch us, but a certain number of them rebelled with Satan, Lucifer, whatever, and were cast down to earth. No, or maybe I might have it wrong. I think these watchers started to be attracted to women on earth, and they had children with them by, morphing into appearing to look human. And then these children were mutants. This is all right out of the Bible. And they grew into be giants. Like in the Bible, it says that they were giants in those days, men of renown, and they had all, they lived a long time, had all this power. And these were like what you see in Greek mythology, Roman mythology. These were the demigods that were part in Gilgamesh from ancient Sumeria. They were half god, half man, and Hercules would be one of them. So basically, what Gary Wayne talks about is that these stories of Hercules and Gilgamesh are actually more true than we know, and that this perversion of the bloodline that God did not want was one of the main reasons for Noah's flood, to get rid of the giants. And when the giants were killed by the flood, their spirits could not go to heaven. They were disembodied and bouncing around, and became what people know as demons, that get into your head and give you bad thoughts, or speak to you in your head, or lead you to do bad things. They just want to F things up as much as they can. So the demons are the spirits, the ghosts of these great warrior kings and heroes of ancient times. It's all very interesting. And there's several episodes where he just talks about comic books and how they're influenced by all this. There's this book called the Book of Enoch that was not put in the Bible that goes into great detail about all this stuff. But anyway, stuff they never talk about on in most churches. But it's fascinating, especially if you're into comic books. So I don't know. That's the stuff I listen to. Lots of stuff like that on YouTube. Oh, here's another copy of Blitzkrieg that's in. No, don't, kitten. I don't want you messing with the comics, man. Kitten, come on over here.
I just want to look at the comic books, Dad.
Well, not today, son, daughter, whatever you are. Oh, come on, Drew, leave her alone. This issue of Blitzkrieg is messed up. Look, it's missing a portion. Oh, here's the comic I bought back in Hampton, Virginia, at the 7-Eleven down the street in second grade. 4-star Battle Tales. You don't know that it's 4-star Battle Tales until you like read the indicia, but that's supposed to be stars. And this is, of course, reprints from the late 50s, early 60s, dinosaurs versus GI stories, the war that time forgot that was in Star Spangled War stories. I'm sorry for my voice, I'm half sick. Which moves us to GI Combat, which didn't start as a GI comic. It didn't start as a DC comic. It was a book that was inherited, that was came from another company called, I believe, Quality, along with Blackhawk 108, 109, 110. The wonderful time period of the 60s where you could get a gigantic Frankenstein model kit. Oh boy, what a jump. That was 110. Here's 169. I made this song, this Beatlesque British invasion song called Quiet Piggy. But then I found out that was all a lie. Trump didn't call the reporter Piggy. He said, quiet, quiet, Peggy. And they lied to you and told you he called her a piggy, which I thought was cool. So I wrote this song about, writing a song, it just repeats Quiet Piggy. And I told the robots, well, it brings me back to what I was talking about. These Nephilim that are like ghosts that float around and demons that cause havoc but are very intelligent and everything. I think they're kind of halfway behind this artificial intelligence because I just don't see how. Well, I don't know. I think that this artificial intelligence, it's kind of like a Ouija board, and it's giving a voice and body to these demons that are floating around. L. Ron Hubbard in his Scientology thought they were that there were alien spirits that were influencing your mental. They don't tell you this till you get to the end of that Scientology, from what I understand. That they were, and some people think of demons and angels as being aliens. I guess you could think that. It depends on how you want to perceive things, but I don't know. There's something out there because we've had sometimes things that are just seem like coincidences are actually blessings, miracles, and if you look around, if you're attuned to it, you'll see miracles all the time in your life. Like, we were really depressed one night. We're really depressed. We couldn't sleep. The next day I wake up and I hear this crying behind a bush right here in front of this house. And it was that little kitten. And it changed everything, man. All of a sudden, we're like parents to this little kitten, that helpless kitten having defeated a bottle. And it was like it was put there right at our weakest time, like it was all timed out. GI Combat 193. I really have a piss poor collection. I wish I had more. Someday I wish I could be like you guys. I see my problem is you guys bought comic books and that's all you bought. Maybe a little bit of other stuff, but I was collecting records. I was collecting movies. I was collecting movie posters. I was collecting toys. I was collecting comics. I was collecting monster magazines, Mad Magazine. What am I leaving out? All kinds of stuff. And then I I wind up not having sufficient number of GI Combat comics to get many views on YouTube, because I wish I could have more viewers on YouTube. Why can't you all just subscribe to me already? Here's the War That Time Forgot. They're bringing it back because I it's probably coming up on this recording. I wrote several songs about the war that time forgot and about Star-Spangled War stories. You'll hear them on my next radio broadcast. The songs you're hearing right now are a preview of my next radio broadcast. You'll be hearing these songs without me talking over them, crudely talking about weird theology and stuff. Okay, here's the... Oh, this is a pretty cover, man. Ooh. Whoa, a lot of blood. Not that... I'm almost thinking, did someone get in with a red marker? Look at this. GI Combat. Look at this. It's a beautiful cover. It's Neil Adams with Russ Heath doing the inking. But look at these people just being mowed down. That reminds me of a Neil... how did they get that? How was that code approved? There's a Neil Adams story he did for either Creepy or Eerie. I don't think it was in Vampirella. It was called Sniper. I think it was called Sniper. Type into Google it. Type in Neil Adams Warren Magazine Sniper story. It's a horrifying story about this guy shooting people, like Charles Joseph Whitman in Austin, you know. And I just remember seeing it on the newsstand in Texas as a kid, and seeing a bullet go in someone's head and their glasses going off one way, and this girl's shot and she's on her knees and blood squirting out of it. It was like, man, I couldn't believe, because, you know, Creepy, Eerie, they're not code approved, but I could, and it was Neil Adams, but it just seemed like, boy, this is the most sadistic violence I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. 210. It didn't make me feel good. It made me, it's like, hey, man, I'd rather see a story about a werewolf, man, or a zombie. But I think what they do is they're showing you, here's real horror. Here's what really happens in real life. There's a great movie called, it's a Boris Karloff movie. It's not really a horror movie. It's from about 1969, man. Targets. It's called Targets. And it's about Boris Karloff plays this movie star named Orloff or something like that. He's supposed to be playing himself. And he's going to a drive-in to make a personal appearance to show some of his old movies, which what they're showing is The Terror, a movie from the early 60s with Boris Karloff. So they use that as the movie that's playing because it's from American International. They own that movie that they're showing. So it's real cleverly done. But there's a sniper that gets into the theater and starts killing people. And so Boris Karloff is confronted by, you know, he created horror on screen, but now he's seeing the true horror of 1969, our present day. And it was a big statement, but it's a really good movie. Did I just show you this one? I could have sworn I did. Look at these covers, so great. Because I think that Joe Kubert really had a love for this. And I keep forgetting if it's Joe Kubert or a Kubert. Kubert being like the guy that jumps around on the blocks. But You can call me Kubert or you can call me Cubert. Just don't call me late for dinner, man. How about that? I got a lot of these dollar comics, man. Now you guys are gonna go buy all these books up, and I won't be able to get them, man. Because here's 238. I'm gonna need to do a show. We need to pray, guys. We need to say thanks for what we've got, man. Imagine what the world would be like if Kamala Harris had been elected, if she'd gotten in last January. I think things would be a lot worse. And a lot of the things that we're suffering with right now were set up by the previous administration so that she's messing with my Roku remote now. I just showed you this one. Okay, I'm going insane now. Ooh. Look at that. Look at that again. Another copy of the same issue. I could never get into Dungeons and Dragons. To me, Dungeons and Dragons, when the world fell apart. I'll tell you, man, when it fell apart is about 19. I've been on this rant before. You've heard it before. Here's another copy. I guess I liked this cover 3 times. All 3 times that I saw it in my life. A wonderful thing happened in the summer of 77. Star Wars came out. A horrible thing happened in 77. Star Wars came out. It was great. I don't know if George Lucas even understood what he was doing, but somehow he channeled out a movie that was a combination of American Graffiti and Flash Gordon and Edgar Rice Burroughs and Dune and every movie serial. It was just westerns. He later got all profound and said, well, I had studied Joseph Campbell's hero. No, I'll do a George Lucas voice. I had studied Joseph Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces. I was a student of that. He was trying to make a Flash Gordon movie, and it was great. And then after that, everything kind of fell apart. Oh, my wife's calling. I better go see what's up. Is this another copy of the same issue? Yeah, everything fell apart, man. Let me go see what she's up to. I'm back. Where did my glasses go? Oh, they're on the floor, of course. Cat put them on the floor. Well, I'm going to have eye surgery in 2 weeks, so I might still need glasses, but they won't be this prescription, so. Okay. So I love Star Wars, obviously. You'd have to be a mental patient to not like Star Wars. But then everyone tried to do imitations of Star Wars that were weak, and the monster craze that I loved ended. And right about that time, Marvel was talking about a Spider-Man TV series and getting us all excited, and the Hulk and Captain America, and then they turned out to be terrible. Well, Hulk wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like the comic book. The Hulk was a good series. It's basically The Fugitive, where he turns green for a little bit at the end. But Spider-Man was wretched because they left out all the supporting cast, all the villains, everything. Captain America, terrible. And then right around that time, it's like, man, you're talking like that's great, and then I don't know, that's when I started getting disenchanted. Comics weren't as good. They were better in the 60s and early to mid 70s. Anyway, with some exceptions. So, I was thinking about this in the shower this morning, this original Star Wars, which they're about to re-release for the, that would be the 50th anniversary in 2027. Apparently, they're reconstructing it the way it was supposed to look. I just thought there's so many scenes in that movie. I hate to use the word iconic, but they're just scenes that stay in your head. The Empire Strikes Back had great scenes, but Star Wars was just filled with them. The ships at the beginning going overhead, the twin sun sunset that Luke Skywalker looks at. I mean, when Luke swung across the chasm on the Death Star with the stormtroopers shooting at with Princess Leia, that right out of classic Hollywood. The throne room music and them marching to get their medals. Man, there's a lot of problems with these songs ending early. That's pissing me off. But anyway, so no other Star Wars movie has been able to do that. Oh, another copy of the same issue. My older brothers were no longer buying comic books when these came out. But my older brother, Michael, picked one of these books up and said, "You paid $1?" And of course, they're saying, "Well, man, it's a big, giant book, no ads. You're getting a bargain." But he just made me feel so small. He said, "The comics were 12 cents when I was buying them, and you're now paying $1." And it was just really about 12 years since they had been 12 cents when these books were coming out. And that's you can't really blame it on Democrats or Republicans. See, the comics went to 15 cents. Well, I think Johnson was still president when comics went from 12 cents to 15 cents. 20 cents. Nixon was president when comics went to 20 cents. 25 cents. Man, I think that was about the time of what? I think Ford was just coming in when comics went to 25 cents. Carter came in with the 30-cent comics. And then while Carter was president, they went from 35 cents, 40 cents. They weren't ever 45. I think they went switches. They're straight to 50 cents. The dollar, I don't know. I can't remember. It was just, the comics kept changing every few months. And this was another thing. Once that came onto comics, that barcode, it was the end. $2.51. I got a lot of GI combats. I guess I do. 252. 253. 254. Ooh. 255. This is a haunted tank story. It's like he's going, "Oh my God, that's Jeb." These artists, the generation that fought World War II, that were still drawing comics. 45. About 35 years after the war was over is when these books were coming out. These guys had seen, when you see stuff like that, that's because they've seen things like that. Same thing with the EC horror comics and the horror comics coming out from other companies in the early 50s. Those were young guys then that had been in the war just 6, 7, 8 years before, and that stuff was still fresh in their memories and their nightmares, and they knew what rotting corpses looked like. And 259. Another copy of 259. $260. Wonder when did they stop publishing GI Combat? $262. So they're up to $1.25 now. Another copy of 262. Another copy of 262. 263. The Mercenary Soldiers of Fortune. $264. $268. I guess I'm in college at this point. $269. $272. Will it ever end? Hopefully not. $273. Oh, this is a great cover. Look at that. Fantastic. Well, they're being blown apart by a tank. They probably, yeah, she still looks pretty good for being blown apart by a tank. 260, 273. Oh, we're out of GI Combat, and we move into GI War Tales. Now this is early 70s, 20-cent era, early 20-cent era. This is number 1. This is going to be reprints of Star Spangled War stories from about 10 years before. And this is my childhood copy of GI War Tales number 2. This is the actual copy I got at that 7-Eleven down the street from me in Hampton, Virginia. I just thought this ad was the hit that ended the ball game, Score in Sports. These Huskies brand shoes are saying, don't do drugs, play sports with our shoes. Here's, I guess I thought I was getting an upgrade, but maybe I was. And it was only $4. This may have been a half-price book. I may have gotten it for $2. From deepest space it came. And now, man. Here's Men of War number 1. This comic, I remember it came out in August of 77. I remember asking my father, because according to this, he's an African-American soldier, and they make him dig the graves. And I said, did that kind of racism really happen? And he said, absolutely not. He said the Army is the least racist profession, whatever he said, out there, because everyone's equal in the Army and everyone's treated equal. And that's what my father told me, who had made a career out of it. So, but anyway, here's issue 9. It has Enemy Ace in it. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent. I don't have all here. Well, it jumps to 23. Another copy of 23. Yeah. Ooh, a good old one. Our Fighting Forces number 87. Look at that. And someone sold it to me for $3. I think this is from Collected Comics in Fort Worth. They would sell comics for a good price. 117 Kiss, to me that's cheap, but honestly, you put $2-3 on these books, they'll probably sit in your store for months, if not years, until someone like me comes along, because there aren't many people. You know, I talked to a store owner once. He said maybe once every year and a half someone will come in looking for war comics, asking specifically for them, but most people, that's not what they're after. Very specific type of person. Look at these GIs watching the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons. So they're tying in the other. Ooh, John Severin art. Look at that. I just the fact that John Severin and his sister Marie Severin have such a similar art style makes you wonder how much is artistic ability in your genes. I just don't know. But there are, unless she learned to draw watching him, but she's equally good and creative, and always loved both their art styles. Here's 135. The Losers was made into a movie, but it was absolutely 100% nothing like this. It was not set in World War II. Man, that guy there looks like he could be a relative of Dick Tracy. Look at that jaw.
Grottu Orloff.
Story and art by Rick Estrada. And he looks a little bit, maybe that's the same guy. He looks like Tiny Tim a little, doesn't he? All right, more John Severin art. He'd been working at the other company, Marvel, with Nick Fury, with on Sergeant Fury. Look at this carnival. Okay. 134. That's one. I'll get these bagged and boarded. Don't worry about it. Second Tuesday of next week. No, I'll do it. Here's 139. These covers are very creative. Nicely composed. Yeah, they really have fun with these covers. And 147. Our fighting forces. Now Ambrose the cat is attacking me. And the last time he did this, the whole tripod fell over and the show ended. So if the show ends, you'll know why. Ooh, nice cover. Amazing shit. I'm sorry for that language. Ooh, this is a thick comic, indicating that it has a stiffness to it, indicating it's a Mark Jeweller's variant. Isn't that wonderful? 166. Oh, I have another copy of it. Fantastic. 169. 172. Oh, they changed the logo on 180. Oh, okay. Here's a facsimile of Our Army at War number 81. This came out maybe last year. Oh, it's because it's the first Sergeant Rock. That was 81. And then here's Our Army at War, number 166. So there's a lot of issues in between, like 80, that I could collect someday if I become rich. Here's 167. Always like this cover. He's got like some Hitler Youth kid that's been killed, and my God, I killed a boy. I didn't know he was a sniper in an enemy uniform. How can I go on fighting now? The action that broke the Rock's heart. Yeah, that's completely historically accurate. See, he's got a uniform that doesn't fit him. Into the war, almost all the fighting age men had been killed, and they brought in kids, Hitler Youth, and old guys that had fought in World War I or older than that. Here's 190. Get Smart is being used to sell Aurora slot cars. I have an Aurora slot car set that was handed down to me from my older brothers. I always had the hardest time keeping those cars on the track. I want to press it down and they'd go flying and spin off the track. Yeah, you know. Oh well. 198. These books are out there, but most comic stores don't put them out on the floor. So that's why it's always been so hard to find them. The same thing with romance comics. Of course, those were mainly collected by girls. This is Sergeant Rock's Prize Battle Tales. Is this Our Army at War? I think it might be. I don't know. 203. $214. $261. That's quite a jump. See, Sergeant Rock was in Our Army at War, and then does Our Army at War change its name to Sergeant Rock? I think so. 274. I don't know at what issue, but it's probably coming up real soon. Here's
If you lived here, you'd be home now.
big 100-page. These were really thick. These are great.
And I wish that you lived here right now.
Oof.
'Cause I'm on the
Look at this.
planet of the apes. I've seen everything I wanna see.
Look at this house ad.
In this strange part of the galaxy.
I might get a screenshot of that for the show.
That's what I always say.
It says, attention college students. We've been flooded recently with requests from our college readers to get our magazines shipped directly to the university bookstores. We're working at it from this end, but you can do even more by asking your bookstore manager if he would carry our comics and our new $1 collectors and mint series. We hope that soon you will be seeing Swamp Thing et al. In between Chemistry 101 and Literature 200, the editors. Trying to get these books onto the college campus. And I have another copy of the same issue here. This one's bagged and boarded. And another one. Dang. Okay, here's a bicentennial issue. 307.
That's what I always say.
311. Oh, look. When did that happen? It's now, Our Army at War is no longer on it.
In the jungle, he's king.
On 295, it's still Our Army at War, but by 311, it's just Sergeant Rock.
If I'm Scorax, son of Tarzan. In the jungle,
Oh no, yeah, 307,
he's a mighty
then 311.
Tarzan.
Look at that. How horrifying that is, the dead soldier there. Sergeant John Doe, born November 11th, 1900, died November 11th, 1918. Oh, I guess he's a guy that died in World War I, and for some reason his coffin's dug up. I have to reread that comic. I don't remember that story. This one's interesting. This some of the reading old comics and during the war. See there, they got these old Golden Age comics, and see the bullets go right through. That's gonna make them not present well. I wonder if there's ever been a comic book graded with a bullet hole in it. I kind of doubt it. 319. 322. Forgive me for the lack of bags and boards. Here's 332. 340. 343. 356. That's almost like a Conan the Barbarian cover there. That was a rumor for a while. I think it might have even been more than a rumor that Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to do a Sergeant Rock movie, which would have been kind of hard to explain why Sergeant Rock had a German, Austrian accent. But I'm sure that they could have figured that out. But I don't think I would want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger as Sergeant Rock. But the movie never got made, so it's a moot point. What? Okay, another copy of 356. Out of order. 361. 362. 366. Well, that's that short box. This is all one short box we've been looking at today. Wait, we're not to Star Spangled War Stories yet. Yeah, we're still at Sergeant Rock. Which presents a dilemma, Do you file it under SG or SE? Because it's Sergeant spelled out, it's SE. But I don't. I file Sergeant Rock under O because it started as Our Army at War. I don't know. How do you file it? You probably don't file it because you probably don't have any copies. Some of you don't. Not that it's cardinal sin. A lot of people that war comics aren't their thing, man. been going an hour and 5 minutes. DC War Books Box 2. Oh boy, there's a lot of Sergeant Rocks, aren't there? Okay. This is a horrifying cover, number 366. Take it slow, easy. Drinking too quick will give you a bellyache. So they're all drinking water. Underneath the water are the dead. That's look at the code approval. $367. Look at that. It's got photographs in the background. Not sure if Jack Kirby was the first guy to do that in comics, but he definitely kind of started doing it in the mid-60s with Fantastic Four. 368. $369. $371. Another creative logo there. $372. $373. $374. $375. He's fighting off all these ghosts. $376. $377. Gentleman used to own this house that we're in. I think for about 30 years. He's in a retirement home now. He's 104, still perfectly lucid. You can talk to him about anything. But he's the last surviving World War II veteran in the entire county. I'd say within 10 years. I mean, I think right now, I heard there's 10,000 World War II survivors still around. And I would think that within 10 years, it'll dwindle down to almost nothing. But $379. I remember one time I was coming home from work back in Texas, and the car in front of me had a Pearl Harbor survivor sticker on the back of it. I'm not sure if are there Pearl Harbor survivors alive now? I don't know. 380. $381. $382. See, we're up to the 75-cent era. There's still good comics coming out during that time period. And there really was. It wasn't as exciting. You have to admit, that's the 20-cent era or the... Oh, I wonder if I could... Let's see if I can make this look like my head. Let's see if I can stage this. Does that look right? I'll have to look at that later and see if it works. Okay, 384. 384, okay. 385. I guess this is a pretty good collection of Sergeant Rock. I have 387. I just wish it was earlier time period, but this is great too. 388. 389. 390. These probably sold pretty well at PXs on military bases. Ooh. Now we're up to issue 420. And we're in the year of 1987. 80s were still okay. It was in the 90s that comic books started to get real bad. 422, July of 1988. And this is, okay, that's the end of that. And then I have the annuals at the end. This is 1977 annual. And then the Sergeant Rock Spectacular. This is a great cover. For the first time, Sergeant Rock and Easy Company's Combat Happy Joes face a still-plated enemy in a spectacular 50-page story plus 2 more frontline features. And 1984 annual. Look at that, man, that hand freezing, man. Well, it's supposed to get down to 9 degrees in a couple of nights, and we're going to have snow. This is, okay, and then at some point, they start the numbering over again, which is something I hate. They do that all the time now in modern comics. This is issue 15. And it's got Enemy Ace in it. August of 91. See, they're already making stupid decisions in the 90s. Issue 17. I never liked the idea of restarting, but because the number 1 sells, they got to keep restarting. Here's issue 19. It's got Batman in it. That should be interesting. 20. Remember Pearl Harbor. And then this is going to be some gory, R-rated kind of adult Sergeant Rock from 2011 when Smallville was on the air. Still Joe Kubert, still around. Okay, here we get into, not that wasn't good, but here we're getting into the really great stuff. Star Spangled War Stories. And it's purple cover, it's a dinosaur cover, but I just can't make out the number because it's black ink on purple. If I was a 9-year-old that bought this originally, I could probably read that fine. But these are the stories from that wonderful time period of the Kennedy era when dinosaurs fought GIs, and I can only dream what it would have been like to be a kid at that time period. It's got everything you could possibly hope for in a comic book right there. That was 120. Wait, was that 124? These are out of order. Here's 122. This one's in pretty nice shape, which is probably why. It looks like they had it priced at $20 on October of 2019. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this was right before the pandemic. And anyway, I think I got this half price. It was probably 10. And I was happy to pay $10 for that. Wait, is that the same book I just saw? What's going on? Oh, that's because it was out of order. 22, 124, yeah. What? Here's another copy of 122. This one's not as good a shape. In fact, there's a tape pull on the dinosaur's head, which would really bother me a lot more if I didn't have a really good copy of it right next to it. 126. I just did a song about gorillas with machine guns on Suno.com, inspired by this cover. This being issue 126. 135. I was smiling at just that wonderful logo. Can you imagine looking at a spinner rack and just seeing that looking at you? This is perfectly acceptable condition for me, you know. New comic collectors would be upset by these spine ticks here, but that's just part of collecting comics. That some of these spine ticks were there on the spinner rack before this was sold for the first time. Those spine ticks probably happened from kids thumbing through the comics to see what was behind the one that was facing them. So, 130. This one has kind of a rough spine, but it's together. 133. And this is 134. And you notice this is where that story that was in that GI War comic I showed you earlier that I said I bought off the stand in 1972. This is 10 years before, probably during the Kennedy administration, when the story first appeared. 134. And then 138 is this great enemy ace. I don't know what issue he first appears in. I don't think this is his first appearance, although that would be a great cover for his first appearance. The Hammer of Hell. $145. There's 140 out of order. At least I'm getting these books in order. Here's 146. $148. This one I bagged and boarded after I discovered Captain Strangelove on YouTube, because he doesn't do it this way anymore, but he used to teach people to fold their tape over. I did a crummy job of it, but basically, I don't know if you can tell, it's folded over here, so I don't feel any stickiness here or here. And I can pull this down, and I can pull this down and free the comic, and then I can reseal it. And if you do it and that's how, and then you put the flap back down, and it's like he had invented, I don't know if he invented it, but he's the guy that talked about it on YouTube. I think he invented it. I always call it the Captain Strangelove thing, except he doesn't do it anymore. Now I think he tucks in the Mylar, and I'm not sure if he uses tape at all. At 148. I wish he'd do another show, man. He hasn't done a show in about a month, I don't think. 146, 148. A lot of people seem to be gone from YouTube. 156, kind of a ghost town of older people on YouTube. 159. The Unknown Soldier is another great character. That movie, Dark Man from Sam Raimi, I think was based on The Unknown Soldier. I don't know. I always thought that watching it. That and The Shadow. Here's 179. I remember buying this one at the PX. This is my childhood copy. Here's 180. 233. There's what he really looks like. The unknown soldier can change his face and make him. He's like a master of disguise. Here's 184. They didn't used to show his face, but right about this time period, 25 cent era, they showed his face, and it's because by that point you had ugly heroes like Deathlock and Swamp Thing and stuff, so it was okay to be and Dead Man. You could be an ugly looking superhero by that point. 185, 187, 190. There's a lot of covers here showing his face. Before he was always covered in bandages like Invisible Man. Here's a great cover, 196. Look at that. That's great. $197. 198. I meant to do what I'm doing now. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago when Veterans Day happened, which used to be called Armistice Day, the end of World War I. It was on the 11th day of November at 11 o'clock that they ended World War I in the year 1918, was it? I have a great uncle that's buried there in France that died of that Spanish flu that they kept comparing the coronavirus to. This one's got a bad cut at the top. See that? This is 213. Okay, so did they change the numbering? 197. Yeah, it was called Star Spangled War Stories. Switched over and became The Unknown Soldier. 214. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. 217. 219. 221. 222. Hear the theme song to Room 222 in my head. 231. 238. 240. Let me see something. Have you seen? They do all these AI trailers and stuff. Someone's been making trailers with Elvis Presley and all these great classic movies. This trailer for a King Kong movie with Elvis is really kind of cool. I can't believe I just said kind of cool. It's extraordinary. Next I'll be saying so yeah. Okay, look at this. You see that? Soon they'll be making movies with classic movie stars, and there'll be no reality left. get a copyright claim. Showing you too much of that. Just type in Elvis King Kong. You know, okay, 240. $241. 245. Ooh, this is a rough cover here. 247 with all these corpses stacked on top of them. That's pretty rough. Another copy of the same issue. 250th issue spectacular. $251. Oh boy, there's a lot of these, isn't there? $252. So they got more Enemy Ace stories in here. Another copy of the same issue. $259. $260. Yeah, this is still an okay time period. Another copy. Oh my gosh, a demon. $261. Is this a fiend from hell or the immortal warrior's greatest disguise? Yeah, could the unknown soldier disguise himself as a demon? I guess we'll find out in that issue. Okay, this is 262. It gives you an unknown soldier story, a balloon buster story, and a tomahawk story. Ooh, neat. $263. Death Sub, USM. It's see all the corpses floating around in the sunken submarine. $264. These really are very much akin to the horror comics that DC put out. That's $265. There's another copy of that. $266. All these trucks. I hear all these trucks outside. I wonder if they're putting down, in case it snows in a couple of nights, I wonder if they're putting stuff down on the roads so that they're, I don't know. You know, I don't normally hear these trucks at this hour of night. $267. $268. I was talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I don't mean to offend you if you're into that. It just seems like when that came along, I was in junior high, like 7th grade, 8th grade. A lot of my friends got into Dungeons and Dragons, and it's like they joined a religious cult. They just kind of disappeared, you know. I didn't. All they talk about is Dungeons and Dragons, and I had no idea what it is. This is issue 1 of an adult Unknown Soldier series that, as I recall, is really, let me see. I don't know. It doesn't look that bad. I don't know. I don't know what, I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of this. There's Unknown Soldier. Yeah, they start doing all these art school things, like the Doom Patrol, whatever. This is a more recent, I think this is from the New 52 era, the War That Time Forgot. I think this is from that time period. And then that's it for this box. It looks like I tried to fill it with stuff like this, coverless Blackhawk, and some issues of Wizard, because there was a lot of extra room in the box. But I'm sure I've got some DC War comics in my long boxes up there that I need to move here. Oh, there's a Star Spangled War Stories comic over there. Let me get that. Oh boy. Ouch. Whoa. Okay, Star Spangled War Stories, 139. I don't think I have this issue. Anyway, I just bought it. So, let's take a look and see if I already own it. I don't think I do. I think I checked before I bought it. You see, 148, 146. There once was a time you could turn on the radio and you'd hear new music like this. Here's 140 with a similar cover. Now I have 139 to put in front of it. And the issue I have before that is 138. So there once was a time there were wonderful cartoons on Saturday morning, music that you could listen to. That doesn't exist anymore. So now through DVDs or YouTube, you can play your cool cartoons on Saturday morning. Through Suno.com, you could create new music. I know it's artificial intelligence. It's probably not artificial. It's probably you're bringing in genies, demons, Nephilim, whatever, to help you write the songs. But it's probably not a good thing. But But you can construct your own world, your own pleasure dome, your own refuge from the world out there, your own fortress of solitude by old comic books, old paperbacks, old magazines, old television, old music. Create new old music. And there's a lot of good new bands today, like the Surfer Jets and Bethlehem Shalom, that are touring the United States right now. In fact, I think it's this weekend. They're going to be about an hour away, hour and a half, maybe 2 hour drive from here, but I can't go out. My eyes this messed up. But maybe someday I'll see them. Here's another box. It's not war comics. So if you only like war, you can tune out now. These are, what is this? I don't know. Oh, I see what it is. Well, no, I don't really see what it is. Well, it's a free comic book day mad comic that is actually comic book size, like the old EC comics. It looks like this is romance comics from Marvel. My Love, number 7. My Love, 25. I'd like to get more of these. They're starting to go up in value because people are buying them. They didn't used to. In fact, there was so much not in demand that they wouldn't even get out on the floor. Like the same thing with the war comics. Here's 28. Beautiful covers. $35. See, this could almost be a Spider-Man cover, except Spider-Man's not on the cover. But great, fantastic. Oh, look at this, man. See this cover of Our Love Story? This is 20 cents. I just showed you a 25-cent book. Look, it's the same cover. It's just recolored. And this is only, how far apart are these? 20 cent versus 25 cent? Maybe a year and a half. Oh, and here's another copy of that one. And I wouldn't be surprised if both of those were reprints of something from even earlier. That's interesting. Here from the 25-cent store, Our Love Story. All you have to do is put Spider-Man's head there, and it would be a Spider-Man cover. Of course, you have to change your hair to red, maybe. All right, so that's the extent of my Marvel romance comics. Wish I had more, but I don't. Here's my Marvel Archie ripoffs. Here's Chili, number 1. Chili, number 4. Chili, number 10. Crazy, number 1. Crazy was early 70s. Before Marvel did the Crazy magazine, they did this. This is February of 73. Okay, so this is coming out in the middle of my 2nd grade year. Inside, it's reprints from Not Brand Ek. So this was the very end of 1972 when this came out. Ek is the sound of someone vomiting. Ek, vomiting. That was popularized in Mad Magazine. Ek. In the 60s, there were detergent ads. There were a lot of ads on TV that said, we're testing our product against brand X. We don't want to name our competition. We'll just call them brand X. And here, it's bold detergent. Will it get your clothes brighter than brand X, the evil enemy inferior company? Well, Marvel and the bullpen pages started to describe DC not as brand X, but brand Ek, meaning it's so bad you'll vomit if you read the competition over at National. So Marvel put out a comic book called Not Brand Ek. In other words, we are not DC, is what that meant. It's kind of a complicated title. See, this is it's all reprints of this from the 60s, but the cover's new, done by Marie Severin. Look at that. The detail is just fantastic. It says Tilt and his Crazy, number 2. that cover was originally the Not Brandeck cover, so there's really nothing new in this issue, except for the wonderful artwork. There's nothing new, but it's wonderful to have this not this this Marie Severin art, basically recreating the early '50s Mad, Harvey Kurtzman, Will Elder era for kids in the '60s. Oh man, there's a parody of West Side Story, his Best Side Story. But the love interest is Wonder Woman. It was a Lee and Kirby story. Okay. This is the one that changed my life. I no longer have the copy I traded my friend for in third grade, but it was so nasty. It was one of the most filthy comics I've ever owned. Cut up, destroyed, every kind of damage. But when I traded him in third, or maybe it's fourth grade, for Crazy number 3, this is the one I got later. I just couldn't believe how wonderful it was. I'd never seen Not Brandeck. Now I have every issue of Not Brandeck. But this is origin of Superman, here known as Stuperman. But the great thing is the origin of the Fantastical Four. It's a parody drawn panel by panel from the Kirby original. There's James Bond as the police officer. Everybody shows up in it, from Ronald Reagan to the Three Stooges. There's Reagan and Nixon. That's how Sue Storm should look. Just fantastic. Three Stooges, you just got to get this. You got to trust me. Yeah, Crazy number 3. And that was they only had 3 issues of that. And then ARG was Marvel's attempt to imitate DC's Plop. And it's a humor comic, but horror-oriented, macabre humor, So that's what Plop was. It was a humorous horror comic, which is what Mad started as in the early '50s. ARG 3, before it started doing parodies of other comics and stuff. This issue is a parody of Kolchak the Night Stalker while it was still on the air. That was a big devastating moment when that got taken off the air. And then here's issue 5. I bought all these when they came out. You never see them anywhere. Didn't we see some issues of Chili a minute ago? Yeah. Here's some more issues of Chili. Here's issue 20. I gotta get these together here. 4, 10, okay, there's 20. 21. Oh, another copy of 21. And then there's Harvey, number 4. I'll leave that there. Another copy of the same issue. I got 3 copies of that. This 6. Look at that cover. It says $20. I think I paid less than that, but actually I think it's because this is so sharp. Actually, it's not that sharp, but It presents well. But seriously, that's if you like monsters and stuff, that this cover, you got to get this issue. Okay, then I've got Millie the Model. I've got some 60s Millie the Models in my Silver Age boxes. I probably should move them over and join them here. Interesting. Oh, another copy of the same issue from the Sandra collection. I have quite a few books with Sandra written like that. So I think she sold a collection, or someone related to her sold her collection, and I bought a bunch of them from whatever store, I think. I don't know. Here's Millie the Model 204s. Millie that had been going on since the 50s. Here's well, it's not a facsimile. It's reprints some of the Millie the Model stories. That one's not that old. Little Pals reprints 1950s stories from the Bronze Age. That one I bought at the 7-Eleven down the street. That sacred 7-Eleven down the street from me in second grade. The 1 year I lived in Hampton, Virginia. A lot of these I need to rebag. Here's 4. So you know what? I really need to get issue 3. That one is a priority. And here's 5. This would have been put out about the same time as Crazy. This is Little Kids, number 7. Another copy of 7. It's not done on purpose. It's just because I forget what I own. Here's 8. Another 8. The thing about this comic is the art, and it's another one from Sandra's collection. The art inside is so old-fashioned. Well, I don't know. Not really. Like this is I think a ripoff of Henry, but it just doesn't look like anything else that would have been on the stands in 1973. It's little Lenny instead of Henry. Oh, this is what it's Little Aspirin. It looks like it was either a Sunday comic or it was intended to be a Sunday comic. But the print is so small. This is wonderful. But that's 8. Another copy of 8. Number 9. Spoof was an attempt to do a Mad Magazine style thing. There was a big delay between issue 1 and issue 2, as I recall. This is a parody of Dark Shadows, Marooned, and it scared me, and Mod Squad. Here's one without a bag and board, so we can look at it. See, Marie Severin does the Dark Shadows parody, and this is from October of 70. Marie Severin also does the Mod Squad parody. And the parody of Marooned, which is a movie no one remembers, is done by Stu Schwartzberg, writer, artist. And it's kind of crude, but Stu Schwartzberg, I can't remember who he is. Let me put a photo of Raquel Welch there. And then I think it was gone a couple of years, and then they brought Spoof back with an All in the Family parody. Spoof number 3. David Cassidy's being sworn in as president. Oh, another copy without a begging board. The Partridge Family. Now a parody of frogs. You wouldn't see that in Mad. It's Marie Severin art and Herb Trimpe inks. Issue 4 has Blackula and Marcus Welby, MD. Lots more great Marie Severin art. This isn't Marie Severin art, but look at all those celebrities looking almost like a Sgt. Pepper cover. This is March of '73. It's Blackula. Spoof number 5 for the parody of Night Gallery. And then I've got some King comics from King. King features Beetle Bailey and Flash Gordon. I'm glad I'm going through these. Man, you hear my voice go, I'm glad I'm going through these. Because I tend to forget where I put things. And I couldn't remember where I put those Archie type books. And so I was trying to, I had some issues of Chili. I've been trying to find the box for them for a while until I opened this one. Excuse me. No, these are educational comics here that were used in classrooms to help kids become better readers. Some of these. And then this was used as teachers for teaching careers that you can have later in life. Those are 2 about being a barber, marketing and distribution careers, fine arts and humanities careers, communication and media careers. Construction careers, hospitality and recreation careers, and environmental careers. Okay. Blondie. The soldiers are fighting dinosaurs in the year 1943. So it's actually 3 wars. A time forgot there's a war with dinosaurs, a war with humans, and then there's this war with me and my Quincy and Prince Valiant. I said, I'm older than you. I get to read it first. Well, these cats are running around everywhere, man. Oh boy. Well, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll probably do another show before Thanksgiving, but maybe not. We'll have to see. Don't argue too much with your relatives over dinner about politics. Cherish your relatives if you still have them. Need to drink more water. Stay hydrated. This is such cheap plastic. I open. Ow, man, my foot. Oh, God. Dang it. Oh, shit. I've never had that pain before. Some new pain starting. Anyway, I opened it and was holding onto it. And it was such cheap plastic, the water squirted up my nose. I like waterboarded myself. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's make sure the front door is secure. There's the cat named Ambrose in the cat tree out here on the closed porch. Let's turn off the lights. I don't know what comics you guys even want to see. You know, if you guys watched to this point, put a comment down below what kind of stuff you'd like to look at. I don't know. You need someone to count on too. Mutual of Omaha is people you can count on with Goins Rush.